Looking back, would you do it all over again?
I would, actually. I've been very fortunate to actually have been able, throughout my life, to do something that I love doing. Most of the world doesn't have that good luck. It's always been interesting. It's always been an adventure. Now, you can talk to me on other days. Of course, I say it's hideous. But even with the hideous, I don't regret anything I've done. I didn't ever want to have my own business. I didn't ever want to have a shop. But I'm actually proud of myself that I've been able to keep it going this long and that I've been able to employ a lot of people for this long. And in the process, we've produced some beautiful work.
Sally Ann?
Yes, I'm here. I have to start my video. Yeah, I'm here.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Hi, hello. Hello, how are you? Nice to meet you finally.
Okay.
Okay, so first off, I personally feel very honored to be able to talk to you and interview you. I've heard about Parsons-Meares well before I moved to New York. It is a staple in the costume world, so this is very exciting for me. I'm going to dive in. You are Miss Sally Ann Parsons, owner of Parsons-Meares in Long Island City. From my understanding, it was you and your husband that started this shop. Is that correct?
That's correct. Yeah. Jim Mears and I started it. I started out acting. I did a lot of acting in my father's companies and was a child actress. My father would start theaters, and then of course my mother and I would make the costumes. And so I learned to sew as a child, and then I was doing costuming.
Where was your first shop? The first name on the door, Parsons-Meares Incorporated.
Well, we incorporated when we were at Heron High School.
Okay.
When we were finally kicked out of Heron High School, when they finally said, "Oh no, we're going to renovate it. You can't squat here anymore," and it looked like they were really going to start doing something, we found premises at 38th and 8th. I don't really remember why we moved, but we moved down to 14th Street. Then we moved to 19th Street, where shortly after 9/11, the whole building exploded.
Okay, when you say exploded, elaborate. Like there was a bomb, it collapsed. What do you mean by exploded?
No, of course, everyone thought it was a bomb because it was right after 9/11. There was a sign painting business in the basement. Somebody poured a chemical into a barrel that wasn't clean, that had an opposing chemical, so it created an explosion, which blew the passenger elevator out the top of the 10-story building. At this point, when we were stranded with nowhere to go, all of the other shops were very generous about offering us space and help, and so we camped out. Various people would go, a couple of people went to Barbara Matera's and did a project there. Grace Costumes took us in, and we were there for actually quite a lot of time. Everybody offered us help and space. It was really quite extraordinary. So like sort of when we need each other, so suddenly we can get together. And of course that's what's happened now, because even though we're rivals and we compete with each other and we compete for work and we compete for shows, we're also colleagues and we support each other.
One of the things that we've been talking about in getting our message out of the Costume Industry Coalition is this idea of interdependency. I know that at John's we use Vogue 2 and we use Jean for printing, and if you could elaborate a little bit on the relationships you have with other people in the industry and other members, part of the CIC, that you also use to help get your work done as well.
Yeah, we do. I mean, Rodney Gordon, who is a member of the coalition and a millionaire, actually shares space with us. And so we often subcontract things to him. Lynn Mackey is also a milliner. We sometimes use her to do work. We work with Hat Rabbit Studios, both for mechanics and like light. We first started working with them because they knew how to do light up costumes.
At what point did you say, all right, we're done. We got to shut down. We got to close. Can you talk about what was leading up to that point and that day that you said, all right, guys, don't come in again?
Well, we closed the shop on March 16th, and as of that Friday, which was which would have been the 13th, I had assumed, I still thought that we were going to be working the next week, that it was okay. And, though the theaters had closed on that Thursday, which was kind of shocking, the Broadway theaters. On the Friday, I got the whole workroom together and I said, anybody who doesn't feel safe coming to work doesn't have to come to work. You can collect on your employment. You can do whatever you want, but I said, we'll be open. Whoever wants to work can work. And then over that weekend, everything became like so much worse. I just kept hearing reports and things, and I thought, this is stupid. I can't ask anybody to come to work. This is, we have to close right now. And I don't think we're going to back, technically we could go back to work because we're manufacturers, but we don't have any work. So there you go.
Jumping back a little bit, you worked on a lot of shows in your time, made some incredible contributions. Talk to me about those shows, the ones that you're most proud of, some of your most fun ones, some of the designers that you really enjoy working with.
One of the people I most enjoyed working with was Willa Kim. Any show that we did for Willa was certainly a learning experience and quite an adventure because she was a fabulous designer. We often refer to ourselves as the shop that cats built because after we moved out of the high school and we were on 38th Street, we were asked to bid on cats. Of course, it was an excellent job for, the 16, 17 years it worked on Broadway. We were always making cats. We always had, some things you have to make a lot of because the show runs aren't so much fun to make, but it was always fun making the unitards because they were pretty, they were easy, you could decorate them, you got to decorate them, they were always hand painted, so they were always a little different, a little different painting, so then you texture them in, within the confines of the design and what had originally been done, but you were painting with fabric and putting the texture on, so it was always lovely to do.
I feel like one of the biggest differences between artists and other people is we, more so than not, live to work, and a lot of other people work to live.
That's exactly correct, yes. Yeah, I think that's absolutely correct. I mean, really, I feel so fortunate.